You guys ready? Okay. Good afternoon. We're here today to announce the first phase of reopening businesses in the city of Fresno under the category of Authorized Businesses that was created by the revised city order that will give us the much-needed local control, and with the collaboration of our partners at Fresno County and the state of California. Effective Monday, May 11th, the following types of businesses may physically open their doors for business: auto, truck, motorcycle, boats, RV, motorhomes, new construction of all types, furniture stores, electronic and camera stores, spa and pool services, lawn and garden equipment stores, building and remodeling, supply stores, and auction. All other retail business may conduct online sales with curbside pickup and delivery. All of these businesses, whether the doors are physically open or not, are required to comply with the city's modified Appendix A social distancing protocol to protect the health of their employees and to protect the health of vendors and customers who visit and shop there. Some businesses will have additional requirements. Authorized businesses will be limited to one customer per 500 square feet of retail floor space. They have a 5,000 square foot store. They could have no more than 10 customers in the store at any given time. There shall be also contact-free payment systems and not accepting any returns for 30 days. All of these decisions are being made to achieve two intertwining goals. One, to protect the health of the people of Fresno to the maximum extent possible, and two, to get people back to work as quickly as we can. The Fresno Recovery Committee, City Council, City Manager, and County of Fresno have all been consulted with opening these businesses. We believe that this is the right decision for Fresno at this stage in the pandemic. Our curve is flattening at a slower rate than we expected, but our healthcare system is in better shape and it is improving daily. The county and our local healthcare system are continuing to increase testing and contact tracing. 2 new testing sites have openings this week alone. We will monitor public health indicators in this community and adjust the program as necessary if we see a spike in infections that could be traced back to our opening, or if our healthcare system is projected to reach capacity. We will slow down or even roll this thing back until public health indicators improve. On the other hand, if after 2 weeks or roughly May 25th, we see the curve and other indicators are improving, we will take the next step and reopen more doors and more businesses. And as soon as the state gives us the green light to reopen restaurant dining rooms, gyms, hair and nail salons, and other close contact businesses, we will devote all of our available resources to help those very deserving and hardworking people to get back to work as well. And just to clarify, there is no application process for these businesses to open. All they need to follow is the modified Appendix A social distancing protocol and post that at their entrances. We're in the process of creating videos in several languages and increase our capacity to help businesses comply, and we'll be announcing those resources in the next few days. Let's talk about the requirements for customers to wear protective facial coverings, such as non-surgical cloth mask. This is not an arbitrary decision. The requirement will protect the health of customers and employees, and most importantly, it will allow us to open more businesses sooner by slowing down the spread of COVID-19. I want you all to know that I've heard and seen the fear, your frustration, your anger, and your despair. And I understand you want to see a certainty, but the coronavirus is uncertain and capricious. The rules mandated to us by the state of California are also uncertain, can literally change day to day. I also want to commend the people of Fresno for your resilience, your courage, and your patience for enduring 6 weeks of sheltering at home and financial hardship. We're doing everything in our power to strike a balance between protecting the health of the city and restarting our economy. We're learning every day and will continue to adjust as we go. We have assembled an impressive team of community leaders who are smart, caring, and dedicated people who want the best for our community in terms of public health and economic security. And to everyone involved, I say, thank you for your advice, your help, and your criticism. Previously, the governor talked about a dimmer switch to slowly restart our economy. Yesterday, the governor said counties and cities could open faster than the state if they had the necessary plans and precautions. Last Friday, we outlined what Fresno's switch would look like. And today we have announced that we are turning that switch on starting Monday to open up hundreds of jobs, hundreds of businesses, and thousands of jobs. And speaking next will be our next mayor, Jerry Dyer. He'll be followed by Council President Miguel Arias. When they've both completed, I will take the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. And I want to also thank you for allowing me to serve as the co-chairman of the Fresno Business Recovery Committee. I want to thank the council members also, as well as City Attorney's Office, Fresno County Health, for the leadership that they have shown during this time and difficult decisions that they've had to make. I know it weighs heavily on them in conversations that I've had with them. You know, on a daily basis, I spend countless hours communicating with various individuals in our community, beauticians, barbers, restaurant and fitness club owners, retailers, and many others who have continually expressed their desire to open their business and to go back to work. I know it is the desire of the Fresno Business Recovery Committee to honor that desire. And I also know that it's the same desire that each and every person who stands with me today is that we're able to open up businesses within our community as quickly as possible. However, we also agree it is very, very important that as we open up these businesses that we do it in a very safe, measured, and cautious manner with the guidance from the Fresno County Public Health officials as well as the state of California. I believe the approach that we are taking here in the city of Fresno strikes that balance, quite frankly, between minimizing the risk and opening as many businesses as possible within the state guidelines. You know, in terms of the businesses that we're going to be open, I'm going to talk about that shortly. But I do know that, again, the balance that we are striking is important. The decision to push the envelope by our committee, as well as the council and the mayor, is based on our current local public health indicators. We're not San Francisco. We are not Los Angeles. Both of these cities have concentrated populations, and as a result, they're more susceptible to community spread of COVID-19. It is our desire to open up businesses beyond that of other cities in cooperation with the health department and the state of California, and that is what we are announcing today. We are giving a green light to businesses to open up May 11th, and I want to repeat those businesses because I think sometimes we don't understand or look behind these names in terms of how many jobs that they're going to allow to be our people to go back to work. Auto industry or auto sales, truck, boat, motorcycle, recreational vehicles, and mobile home sales, motorhome sales. New construction, furniture stores, electronics and camera stores, spa and pool stores, lawn and garden equipment, building and remodeling supply stores, and auctions. Hundreds of businesses are going to be allowed to open in the city, and they're going to provide thousands of jobs. By doing this, we're going to level the playing field for many of these businesses within our community. We're going to get people back to work, and we're going to stimulate our economy. But more importantly, I believe we're going to provide hope, much needed hope, to people who have been out of work and not able to open their business. And as we open more businesses, I believe it is critical that we provide them with the guidance that they need to be able to operate safely. And then we trust these business owners to stay within those guidelines and parameters that are set forth. It is my hope, based on our local public health indicators, that in the very near future, the state will relax its restrictions on counties such as ours and allow us to open other necessary businesses like restaurants, shopping malls, fitness clubs, barbershops, spas, hair and nail salons, and entertainment venues. Today is a positive step. It's a positive step towards our future. And I want to encourage people as these businesses go online. I believe it is so important for members of our community, our public, to support and to buy local. These businesses have been closed, to frequent them as often as we can and support them financially. And until we are able to get our restaurants to open up for dining, I believe it is critical that we take advantage of curbside delivery or curbside service and pickup as well as delivery. And I have one last request. I know there's a lot of people in our community that are anxious, people that are filled with hopelessness, people who are uncertain of what the future holds, and many people who are in fact angry. I'm asking people in this community to come together. This is a crisis that we are facing in Fresno, a crisis that we have never seen as a country. And I'm asking the people of Fresno to come together, to encourage one another, to support one another, and let's band together as one Fresno as we move forward in opening up our economy. Thank you. Miguel?
Thank you, Mayor-elect, and just bear with me, I'm not wearing my glasses today. It's been a long few days with some of my friends in this room. But nearly 2 months ago, I stood here with Mayor Lee Brand and our council colleagues, and we asked more than 500,000 residents in our city to shelter in place. Thanks to everyone's cooperation, 53 days after asking people to stay home, we are now in a position to reopen businesses that are low risk for contamination and are local and are going to provide thousands of jobs back into our economy. During that time, we have witnessed some folks challenging the shelter in place, some even undermining the shelter in place. But the vast majority of our city residents honored it, and that's why we're here today, because they put us in a position to do it. As I said before, the buck stops with local leadership, and we did not advocate our responsibility to make tough decisions. The shelter in place has accomplished 4 key outcomes for us as a city. First, and most importantly, it saved lives so that we don't have to have the death rate of our neighbors in Tulare County. That was the primary goal of making sure that we saved as many lives as possible, and we did that with the shelter in. Secondly, it allowed us to maintain local control. Some would prefer that we shift the responsibility and the decisions to Sacramento so that they can simply blame Sacramento for all failures and protect themselves from any scrutiny. We chose to lead instead. Third, we protected our residents from price gouging. We also provided them with inspections in major supply chains like Foster Farms and Amazon. That's what local control allows you to do, to take action so that you don't have to shut down a large poultry facility because they're not adhering to social distance. And fourth, it put us in a position to open up businesses before other major regions. And we should remember, Fresno County is an urban county. That is our definition under state. That is who we are. The majority of our residents in the county of Fresno are City of Fresno residents. So we must act like a big city because we have big city challenges. After 53 days and careful consideration, our local healthcare conditions, the mayor and I proposed to the council today that we begin the phasing in of reopening our economy. And I'm happy to report that the majority of our council is supporting this phase-in approach of reopening our businesses, understanding that this switch that we've built has the ability to turn back if necessary. We have also made it a point to communicate with our public health office and our supervisors. As of yesterday, some of our supervisors were supportive of us taking this measured approach. However, let me caution everyone, and I want to be crystal clear. This isn't the time yet to celebrate. It's not the time yet to host family and block parties. It's not the time yet to ignore the social distance precautions that our public health officials from DC to the state to Fresno have all asked us to follow. This is the time for us to take baby steps in reopening the economy while still being ahead of major cities and while still ensuring the safety of the vast majority of our vulnerable and invaluable families and lives that we have here in our city. The council and the mayor will monitor the health conditions based on the plan that's submitted by the County of Fresno, the public officer and supervisors to the state of California. We will monitor those metrics, and we will use those metrics as a measuring tool to ensure that our phased reopening does not overwhelm our healthcare system locally. I'm confident that this is the best plan that's been developed in our county. It is not, in my view, as irresponsible as some have done locally and just opened up all businesses and all barbershops without the precautions in place or without understanding the capacity of our healthcare system. We will have to work. We still have work to do. We still have a lot of businesses that are hurting, a lot of residents who lack the income from this devastating COVID emergency. That work will continue. We also still have a $1 billion budget to adopt in our city and tough decisions to make on how we mitigate those while keeping our essential services operational and ensuring that all our employees are safe and have a job at the end of this emergency. That work will continue, and my commitment to the mayor and the mayor-elect and the council president-elect Chavez is that we'll continue to collaborate amongst each other and lead, not advocate our responsibility to the state of California. With that, I'll be happy to turn over to the mayor, Lee Brand, and have him address any questions you may have for us.
Any questions? All right. Go ahead.
How can you get both the CAOs and supervisors letting the multiple city cancels the shelter-in-place ordinance thing? It's conflicted, it's unnecessary. What's your reaction to that?
Well, 2 days ago, we had a talk with Buddy Mendez and Nathan Magzig, and I think yesterday, and we laid out the program. We made it clear. Do you approve of it? Yes, we approve of it. So I don't know, and they said their public health director, Dave Palmaville, was also in the same opinion. So I don't know what happened between yesterday and today. In fact, today we had a meeting at 1:30, a Zoom meeting that included the two supervisors and Dave Palmaville. Nobody said a word about we're ahead of ourselves. Everything was done on the basis of getting the day on the date, Mr. Palmaville talking about getting the county ready and developing their metrics. But this was a complete surprise to me and everybody else. And I simply don't understand it. We have to work as partners in this deal. For us to go forward in higher levels of risk, we need the county to have the metrics there. And at this point in time, they don't seem to be there. We're hoping they will get there. We've offered our help on this.
And I would point out that the county thus far has not offered an alternative plan.
Yeah.
Sorry. I would just add, look at any other city in the county of Fresno and ask them for their plan. This is the most comprehensive plan that exists in our county, and the lack of a plan and direction with details from the county, this is in the best interest of our city. We have taken into account the lowest risk industries to ensure that we don't overwhelm the system. We fully acknowledge that our economy is a fire hose when it comes to the county of Fresno. Our city is the majority of our county. What we do has a huge impact in the county, and that's why we've been thoughtful. We've met with industry leaders. We have spent the weekends, the weeknights developing this plan, And we have consulted with the county each step of the way. As the mayor said, we met with them yesterday, we met with them this afternoon, and at no time did they indicate any concerns with our proposal. And we told them that before we go into phase 2 of opening higher risk businesses, we would wait for the county to complete its plan, where they have to acknowledge the condition and the status of the medical capacity of the county before we even consider the dining restaurants as the governor has clearly identified. So this today is a very thoughtful, conservative approach to doing what's in the best interest of our city, and that's opening a business slowly and thoughtfully with the ability to pull back or press pause.
Yes. Well, the way the state order has it as essential and not essential businesses. And basically you have the big boxes, Walmart, Costco and Target and so on, doing all the one-stop shopping. And it really leaves a big hole for the retailers, especially retailers from furniture, clothing, and so on. So this gives them an opportunity to, one, bring back hundreds of businesses in Fresno right now that are currently closed down, including ma and pop shops, and it gives an opportunity to bring in literally thousands of employees in. And I had a meeting last night with the big 13 mayors, and there were some people from Sacramento. I asked the question, what is the advantage to having Costco have all the business or Walmart? They said the system was designed to have a one-stop shopping, which maybe that makes some logic someplace else, but I think you're better to have, instead of 1,000 people at one time at a Walmart or a Target, to maybe have 500 and have another 500 at 5 other locations of other local dealers to give them the opportunity to compete and to make money and have employees. So it's inherently just unfair, in my opinion. This levels the playing field. And again, retailers collectively, and this is the first phase, the easiest phase, as we go into phases 2 and 3, will eventually probably bring our economy up to 80 to 90% of its capacity, take a long step towards recovering our economy, which has been devastated so far by the coronavirus.
Mayor, I'd like to, Dyer, can you explain a little bit more about the difference in the different retail categories, the ones that are authorized? Sure. And the others that are left in e-commerce? I think it's important, to have a plan so that we can eliminate vagueness. I think right now there's a lot of confusion out in our communities in terms of what can open and what cannot open, what can be online versus not online, what can be curbside pickup versus in store. This plan allows for all retail to be online with curbside pickup. The businesses that we mentioned specifically, those businesses can also have on-site shopping. And that included furniture stores, cameras, electronics, and it also allowed for pools and spas. Those types of businesses, people can actually go into the showroom. So some people might ask, why is that different? Those businesses traditionally do not have very many customers. The foot traffic is light. If you go into a spa showroom or a furniture store, you may have 4 or 5, 6 people in there at a time. Our parameters are such that we're going to ensure that social distancing does occur in those stores by limiting the capacity. 1 customer per every 500 square feet within those businesses that we are allowing to have on-site shopping. So I believe we're going as far as we can possibly go safely, a very measured approach. The last thing we want to do is to put a plan in place that causes a spread of COVID-19 and then have to ratchet back businesses, which is why we're asking people, when you do go to stores, that you practice the appropriate precautionary measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And we're asking business owners and operators to do the same. And so we just want to make sure that there is clarification. I think the order that the city put out, it's multi-page, and it is important for people to read that because it lays out every single business, and there are several pages of businesses that can operate in the city of Fresno. All other retail has to be at this time online with curbside pickup. other than the one I mentioned.
Multiple languages, Spanish, Punjabi, Hmong,
Sure.
more languages, and a lot of those people, they own businesses, and they're also clientele. What is the city's plan to make sure to reach the people who are not connected with the main street? Like, how's gonna reach those minority groups?
Sure. Number one, the order that was written has already been translated into Hmong, Punjabi, and Spanish. We are also putting together a video that will clearly set forth the parameters and the protocols that we are expecting for businesses to operate safely. Those two will be in multiple languages that I just described. We're working closely with the chamber, with EDC, with the Hmong community, the Punjabi community. We have members on our business recovery committee who represent each of those communities. The mayor today assigned those individuals to a communication task force to make sure that each and every one of those videos go out in the various languages. And I want to just pause for a second and thank some of the folks that are on the advisory committee. We have Councilmember Mike Carbasi, who's a part of the committee, been very instrumental. We have a former council member, former Board of Supervisor Henry Perea, who's been very, very instrumental in providing guidance and advice, along with a host of other individuals, including Nathan Ali from our chamber. I just wanted to thank all of those individuals because their advice, quite frankly, to the mayor has been very, very important in the decisions that he's making. Mayor?
Well, he's advocating for internet sales with curbside pickup. His order does not specifically mention retail, like we're going one step further, but he also gave us the path there. He said that cities and counties can take when they have a plan in place that's cautious and mitigates the dangers, and so we're doing that. We're exercising our right to take that one extra step, that bold step, to get more people back, and we'll continue doing that as we go forward. Of course it would, yes. Our deal, this is planned to open up on Monday, May 11th. We already are. Yeah, on the internet sales, yeah. So and some of the questions, why didn't you open it? We wanted to give these retailers enough time to make all the preparations for the social distancing and so on in their stores, so we'd have a safe entry on it. But right now, all retailers can do internet sales with curbside delivery. You want to talk about it?
And can you speak to me about how many inspectors you guys have?
Sure. So as Mayor-elect Dyer covered, we're first going to focus on 3 key aspects. Number 4 in that poster board is we're going to train our businesses by providing tutorial videos in all the languages. Secondly, we're going to trust our businesses that once we've trained them and giving them the guidance that they're going to honor it. Third, we are going to be doing random compliance checks to make sure if folks need additional support and help, we can do that. And then finally, our code enforcement officers that estimates around 100 people will be still responding to complaints that they receive from the public. We will continue to focus their efforts on COVID-19 work as they have since the shelter in place and the emergency, but that's going to be the last resort. And even when our code enforcement shows up, they always give multiple warnings before they provide any kind of fine. So our hope is with the training, the entrusting of the business owners, and us verifying, we will be able to give everybody, especially the public confidence that businesses are open, they have the supplies necessary, they have the procedures in place, and that it is safe to shop again in Fresno the way it was before COVID-19. Good question. The governor has directed the county public health officers and the county public supervisors to develop those metrics. The governor will provide guidance to the counties on Thursday. The counties are then required to develop those plans with those very specific metrics on the healthcare system. They're required to publish the plans and send them to the state of California. We will utilize those metrics that the county establishes to assess whether our reopening needs to continue to the next phase or press pause or make any adjustments. So the metrics will ultimately be determined by the county public health officer and the board of supervisors as required by the governor in his direction yesterday.
Hold on 1 second. I do have somebody texting in, Brianna Calix from the B, asking if someone could please explain how Fresno's measures compare to the state's shelter-at-home measures. Mary, you're right in the way of our interpreter, so just step to the mic.
Well, based on, again, a phone conversation or Zoom conversation last night with 13 biggest mayors, no other city that I'm aware of right now is going to step we're going to go to actually to open the retail stores within the social distancing standards of roughly one person per 500 square feet. So I believe we're at this point in time, as far as the big cities, I don't know about the small cities, some of them made some different calls, we were probably ahead of them.
Anybody who hasn't asked a question yet before I go to repeats? At all? All right, 2 more questions, please. Go ahead, David.
If anybody knows approximately how many fines have been issued for various violations, and then the consideration whether they should be forgiven.
So, Mayor-elect, I think you should make me the next honorary chief since I always answer the questions on accountability and enforcement. As of today, a total of 16 fines were given citywide since the beginning of the emergency. That includes fines for price gouging, for opening as a non-essential business. The process for fines is that we provide the fine, and if folks want to appeal the fine, they can do so through the administrative appeal process in the city. And at that time, they can decide whether to pay the fine or to ask for reconsideration. At this point, we have not made a decision on whether we would change the direction of having folks pay the fine. But in total, from yesterday's update, we had a total of $28,000 in fines for a city of more than 500,000 with thousands of businesses, representing about 15 individual businesses. So the vast majority of our businesses, the vast majority of our residents have honored the shelter in and have honored the direction. That's why I think it's critical for us as a city to continue to maintain local authority and control over this pandemic emergency and not simply punt the ball to the state and then spend our days tweeting and Facebooking about how bad the state made decisions and advocating our responsibility.
One more. Frank in the front.
I wonder if there's any state level or any local level in terms of reopening of retail, in terms of clothing, in terms of people trying stuff on or touching items and everything like that. Is there anything detailed about that?
That's the type of mitigation measures we develop. You know, right now they have a policy, you can't return anything within 30 days. So those things, that's why they're a little higher risk level, so it takes more time. And really, the county leads the way in determining what kind of mitigation measures they're going to have. A lot of stuff we have would apply, but when you get to that second level, there's a higher level of risk. So we wanted to start easy, go forward, take a review after 2 weeks and see how we're doing. If we're doing good by all health indicators, then we launch into the second phase.
Clothing stores are curbside.
Yeah.
Yes.
All retail.
Right.
They're all retail.
All right. Folks, we're finished for now. Thank you very much. What we'll do is we'll have all of our speakers available for one-on-ones. Also, we have Councilmember Carbasi, former County Supervisor Perea, and the President of the Chamber, Nathan Ali. If you